Yo, what's going on out there, everybody? Welcome back to the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show right here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. It's your boy, Willie Epting Jr. Live, loud, and in color, baby. Thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook Live through the network's Facebook page, as well as YouTube through the Shakeback Media Group's YouTube channel, as well as Twitter. Yes, Twitter at Shakeback Media Group. 6,500 followers and counting. We thank you for your support, your love. Man, it is growing by leaps and bounds. And I promise you guys out there that this company is not on steroids or any performance-enhancing drugs whatsoever, because our strength is building, our muscles are getting larger, and we are deep into this game, and we have so many other great things going on here at the Shakeback Media Group outside of sports. Stay tuned for that. I actually have an announcement that I'm going to be making here towards the end of the show. I'm waiting for Marshawn Powers to join in. He's supposed to join in with me and talk some Cleveland Guardians as they are firmly entrenched of tape. I shouldn't say firmly entrenched, but what I will say is that they are in first place atop the AL Central as of tape time, holding the slimmest leads of any. Well, I can't say that because in the third segment, we're scheduled to have Mike Martinez, the big Rican on sports. Of course, he is a crazy New York Mets fan, hashtag LGM. And the Mets have fallen down to a degree of which I didn't think was going to happen. But here we are. All right, so just in case you missed it in the first segment, I kind of had to run through the power rankings real quick because the chase for history is still going on. I mean, Albert Pujols is currently sitting at 695. I saw the game between Cardinals and the Nationals on Thursday. I was hoping that he would get one there. There was also some history made between Yachty and Wayno. And then, of course, Aaron Judge sitting on double nickel. So we talked about all of that. And then we had to do a really a hit and run version of the power rankings. What I mean by that, I should say even a suicide squeeze, because the runner was already heading home from third base. That's how fast that had to go. So much fun there as we continue to wait on Marshawn. We're going to move forward in this particular second segment. It is being brought to you by, well, I'll tell you. It is being brought to you by us, the Big Game Christian Sports Network. You said it. 10 years of the hottest sports talk in the known universe. Join us for the rest of the year and all year long as we celebrate our 10th anniversary and relive some of the most classic and memorable moments here on the BGC Sports Network. And make sure to check us out at bgcsports.net. 10 years of debates, 10 years of opinions, 10 years of sports talk that's lit, celebrating 10 years just getting it done. We are the BGC Sports Network, a.k.a. the Big Game Christian Sports Network. And that actually reminds me of a story with the network, because this is a baseball show. I've told other stories that I've had and other experiences that I've had here on the network on the Shakeback Sports Show. 12s and 6s, 1s and 7s, Saturday and Sunday. That is, of course, with your boy, Willie Epting Jr., BGC SEN 1 and 2. So anyway, another story that I have as I adjust my headphones because I can barely hear. There was a college baseball game between the Dallas Baptist University, I believe they're the Patriots, and the Grambling State University Tigers. And I got an opportunity. I think I may have told this story, but I'm going to tell it again for a new audience. I got an opportunity to be the color commentator for that particular game between Dallas Baptist and the Grambling State University Tigers. I never forget it. It was on my oldest son's 19th birthday, March 18th. Of 2000 and whatever it was, 18, 19. I had a blast. Me and Cedric Bailey, the unk of the network, we went out there. We had so much fun, and we were able to fill in for the great Santoria Black, as the Grambling State Lady Kittens were in New Orleans, I believe, for the NCAA women's basketball tournament. So that was definitely a thrill. Okay, I think I see Mr. Powers has made it into the building. So we're going to go ahead and bring him on because we need to get to some Cleveland Guardians talk. And I'm excited. I want to see what he feels about where the Guardians are. Marshawn, thank you for joining us, man. I really appreciate you taking time out. I know Thursday night was the opening night of the season NFL football. I know that you were out, so I appreciate you joining in, man. Welcome to the show once again. What's going on, bro?
What's up, Willie? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So let's get to the Cleveland Guardians because, as I alluded to in the beginning of the segment, they are sitting at the top of the AL Central as of tape time of this show. 2 games in front of the Minnesota Twins, and 2.5 games in front of the Chicago White Sox. But I want to ask you, man, are they going to be able to hold on to this thing for the rest of September? We only got 3 weeks left to go in the season. Are they going to be able to hold on?
I mean, if their schedule is favorable to shows that they can hold on. I want to say you play the Twins 9 more times. I want to say something like that. So, it favors them. The Twins, as of tape time, have to deal with. They have more games against teams that are contending, like the Yankees and the White Sox and things of that nature. Where we playing teams like the Royals. So I think it'll be a little bit more easier for us to keep a hold of the first place lead.
Now, because I had a reason why I asked you that question, right?
What's up?
Because at September the 9th through September the 19th, okay, obviously this is the last month of the season.
Right.
The Guardians have from the 9th through the 11th a 3-game set in Minneapolis against the Twins. Okay, and then the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, 5 games at home at the Progressive Field. At Progressive Field against the Twins. So there's 8 games left, 3 in Minneapolis, 5 in Cleveland. And then that September 19th is a rescheduled game from April the 6th. That was from, that was because of the pushback because of the lockout. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then also the September 17th game is a rescheduled game from April the 5th, which was a result of the lockout. So it's all out in front of them in terms of who is chasing them in the division and who is right behind them, that being the Minnesota Twins. Now, when I go to Chicago, they have 4 games left against Chicago. They have 1 game in Cleveland, September the 10th or September the 15th, which is a makeup game from August 21st. And then they have the final 3 games of the year in Chicago, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Now, I don't really know how they fared against the White Sox all year. Can you enlighten the people out there watching and listening about that?
It's been kind of 50-50. The White Sox, I actually was at the last game that was canceled. That's going to have to be made up because it was raining.
I think we may have lost Marshawn. Okay.
No, the White Sox. Yeah, the White Sox. To me, fair even like the Guardians. I've always said, if the White Sox have the better overall roster, but the Guardians have the better manager. So I think we kind of fair even. I think now that we're going into the playoffs. What do you call it? The dog days of the season? And I think we have a one up on them because we're the more healthier team. I want to say they just lost Tim Anderson not too long ago, and we finally solidified our pitching with Shane Bieber the other night. Coming around against the Orioles, I want to say we played. No, it was the Royals. The Royals. And at one point in this season, he was on the high end. Like I want to say his ERA was like 3.86, and now he's under 3. He's in the 2s. So he's coming around. McKenzie's coming around, and then our third, Kyle Quantrill, he's still undefeated as a starting pitcher at home. So I'm feeling confident for the team as long as they're at home. On the road, Seattle, they kind of pretty much beating our tails on the road, and then the Angels and stuff like that. But I feel like at home, if we get a series at home, I think we'll take care of business.
Well, the thing is that if the Guardians hold on to this lead and ultimately win the AL Central, they will get a series at home. We know that for a fact. Well, maybe not, because with the new playoff format, it continuously confuses me, and it shouldn't, because I'm forever paying attention to these things. And I was one that was very excited about the new format in itself. But now, as we're getting closer to that, this whole new thing in Major League Baseball, I think I might be more wrapped up in the excitement of it. It's got me a little confused than anything else. But when you mention Shane Bieber and Cal Quantrill, look, Bieber had me thinking for a long time, man, was that dude a fraud from 2 years ago when he won the Cy Young? And as you mentioned, he has definitely gotten untracked. His ERA is a 2.96 at this point. He does lead the team in innings pitched, which is also awesome, because he had the myriad of injuries last year. Tristan McKenzie, he has an ERA that's under 3.25, which is really, really good. However, his record isn't reflective of that, because his run support lacks. Do you think that in the postseason, for a gentleman or for a pitcher like Tristan, who has had his ups and downs, not so much this year, because I think he's been the most consistent pitcher on y'all staff, do you think that's going to have any effect on his confidence going into the postseason, even though he has that type of an ERA but a losing record?
I don't think so. I think, no. I mean, the kid is confident enough. He's a really good pitcher, and he's been. I mean, if you want to be, if you really been paying attention to the Guardians this year, you know, a majority of Tristan's latest wins have come against dominant teams. You know, the Yankees, the Astros. Who's another team that, you know? I want to say the Padres. Like he's been the one that's been, you know, when tasked to face a strong lineup, he usually comes out with the win, because, you know, he's so patient on the mound, and, you know, he knows how to be dominant when asked. So I think McKenzie has solidified himself as the clear number 2, because Quantrill hasn't shown that, you know, if asked to, you know, put up a good, a strong match on the road, he could do it. You know, like I said, majority of his wins have come at home. And then anybody outside of those 3 I don't have any faith in. So, you know, I need McKenzie to be strong, you know, in the playoffs, because our rotation is really a 3-man rotation. We don't have anything after Bieber, McKenzie, and Quantrill. We just don't have anything.
And Plesac has struggled mightily all year. Savali is he still injured? He's still injured, right?
No, Plesac just broke his hand. Savali might be injured. I mean, that guy's always injured. But I know Plesac just broke his hand for the second time.
So he's out for the year.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I don't know. Back.
And another good thing too about it is that y'all's bullpen is better than average. I mean, Clase is one of the better closers in the game. Trevor Stefan, he has 13 holds, and look, that may be enough for the Guardians to maybe get past their first round opponent, assuming they do not draw the Houston Astros, because, well, no, it won't be the Astros, because the Astros have the number 1 seed. So the Astros will get the winner of the Seattle and or either Baltimore or Toronto or Tampa Bay, one of those 3, because those three teams, and as a matter of fact, it could be the Yankees, because the Yankees, look, Marshawn, the Yankees, and I talked about this in the last episode. Last month, no, not even last month, but 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, the Yankees were up by 11 games over the Tampa Bay Rays, or may have actually been over the Blue Jays at that point, but they were like separated by a game or maybe a half a game between the Blue Jays and the Rays. But today, or as of tape time, rather, as of Thursday, the Yankees are only up by 5 games. So it is conceivable. And if it happens, I shouldn't say that, because my boy plays for them and I want him to do well. And then my other boy is on the coaching staff out there too. So, but if they weren't there, I'm telling you, it wouldn't break my heart if it happened. But let me ask you this about the Yankees, because they obviously have Aaron Judge. And I talked about Aaron Judge in the first segment, because he's now sitting at double nickels in terms of home runs. Do you think that he's going to actually get to 62 and break Roger Maris's all-time Yankee record for homers?
What is he at now? 50, right?
55.
I think he'll get it. I think he'll get it simply because, man, I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was telling me about how, early in the season, the Yankees was convincingly beating teams. And now lately, the Yankees really can't get more than two runs, and you're getting that for sure run off of Judge Homer, but you're not really getting much else. Rizzo just went on the IL. They really don't have any other dominant. I mean, it was Judge and Rizzo, in my opinion. Those was the top two guys that I was afraid of, and now you lose essentially. I don't know if they call it Batman and Robin in baseball, but you lose the second best hitter on the team, in my opinion. So
yeah. And you know what?
He has no choice at this point.
The big Rican has actually made it to the studio a little early. Let's bring him in real quick because we're going to talk about his Mets in the third segment, Marshawn. Before you get out of here, we're going to bring him in the third. He's going to talk about the Mets in the third segment, but I want him to give his take on that other team in New York. Mike, what's up, man?
What's up,
Mike? Going on, boys?
How you doing, man?
I'm good, Marshawn. How you been, man?
Good.
So Mike, I mean, I'm glad you were here early. We got about 2 minutes left to go in the segment, and we were just talking about Aaron Judge and the Yankees and all that. And I actually had this titled Big Trouble in the Big Apple between your Mets and the Yankees. And I had said in the last episode that it was conceivable to me that there was a good chance, or at least a reasonable chance, that the Yankees could go from first place to out of the playoffs if the things were to shake out the way they did. 2.5 weeks ago, they were up by 11 games. As of tape time, they're only up by 5. Your thoughts?
The Yankees did nothing to improve their team, not only in the offseason, but at the trade deadline. They have question marks behind Garrett Cole outside of Nestor Cortez, who they have to keep on an innings limit. And Garrett Cole's a question mark. You can't get more than 4 outs in a playoff game, and you're making 330?
Mm-hmm.
Come on. But in all seriousness, the offense has struggled outside of Judge. As Sean mentioned, I heard you say Rizzo's on the IL now. Matt Carpenter is not hitting at 450 anymore. Kiner Falefa's been good with the glove, but he finally got his first really big hit of the year against the Twins yesterday. The Yankees are a mess, guys. And if I had to put money on it, if you'd asked me the night of the first Met-Yankee Subway Series game, I'd have said, we're going to see this in October. My money's still on one, and it's not the Pinstripes.
Right. Okay, that's the end of the second segment. Marshawn, I know you got to get out of here, man. I appreciate you. Mike, thank you for jumping on here early.
I'll talk to you guys
come back
later.
on the other side of the break. We're going to get to these Mets, #LGM. Willie Epstein Jr., #Brothers of Baseball. Big Mike Martinez. Y'all come back on the other side of the break, man. Hollers. Right back. We'll be right back in just a second. Shakeback Media Group, Willie Epstein Jr., #Brothers of Baseball. Where are we? We are at the official MLB apparel store live in New York City. Man, the show, 12s and 6s, 1s and 7s, BGCSN 1 and 2. Come on, check your boy out, Willie Epstein Jr., #Brothers of Baseball. Welcome back to the third and final segment of the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show right here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. Big Day, the dopest engineer on the planet. What's going on? Baseball fans all over the globe, you already know what it is. As we are deep into the final month of the year, and we got some comments from social media. The Big Reek and Mike Martinez, he is in the studio with me. Mike, what's going on, man?
Not much, bro. How you doing?
I'm good. I kind of fumbled the end of the second segment. I was so excited to have you on, but I think I was able to reel it back in there before too long. So we want to thank Marshawn Powers for joining us in the second segment to talk a little bit about the Guardians. He seems to think that they're going to have enough they're going to have enough to hold on, and they got the Twinkies 8 times in the last 12 days. So it's all out there in front of them. Your thoughts about that, real quick?
I think the Guardians have enough too. That rotation has been lights out all season. A couple of hiccups between Plesac's injury and Savali's, but I think they got enough. They'll be back in time. Not Plesac, because he, of course, punched the mound and broke his hand. But Savali should be back in time to put this thing away. And when you're going at him with Shane Bieber once every 5th day, I mean, that's pretty handy to have.
Yeah, and Bieber's actually been getting it together these last few outings because his ERA was up around 8 or over 8 at one point, and now it's under 3. So he seems to be getting to the Bieber that we're used to seeing. Before we move any further, though, Mike, we got to go ahead and pay these bills. This third and final segment, it is being brought to you by the Big Game Christian Sports Network. The countdown is on, and it actually is already here. Intense high school football action right here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network and the Big Game Christian Sports Network, too. As football tonight is here, we covered the 2022 pigskin season for the Crowley Eagles as well as the 4A Dunbar Wildcats. So make sure you guys go to bgcsports.net for schedules and times, because I'm telling you right now, the Crowley Eagles are soaring to new heights, and the Wildcats are looking to expand their territory. So, all right, so let's get to these Mets. As of tape time, Mike, the Mets are only a half a game above the Atlanta Braves in the National League East. Number one, tell me how you are feeling at this moment, my kind friend.
Let me put some context on that. Since June 1st, when the Mets had a 10.5 game lead, the Atlanta Braves have gone, you ready for this? 62-24.
That's not fair.
The Mets have gone 51-35. So that's how Atlanta caught him. Because, as I said on Twitter, I don't know if you saw this, if they stay in a flat-footed tie the rest of the year, all the Mets got to do is get one that final weekend in Atlanta. Mets own the tiebreaker by winning 10 games. They would win the division by default if it came to a flat-footed tie in the last day of the season, because with the new format, there is no Game 163.
Very true.
And whoever wins the East is going to be the 2 seed. But guess what? Scherzer's going to be back for that series in Atlanta. And Showalter's going to line them up that they're going to get Scherzer, DeGrom, and Bassett in those 3 games.
And Bassett came up with a huge win for you guys the other day as well.
And DeGrom his last 6 starts, he's retired at least 12 in a row in every start. No one's ever done that before.
So it's not as bad as it seems, because of the way that the Braves have been playing baseball.
It is. And this is not the Mets blew a lead. This is Atlanta went out and went after it.
Mm-hmm.
They're the defending champs for a reason, number one. Number two, when they stumbled out of the blocks, I can remember telling people, guys, they're going to come. And they're going to be good, and we got to watch. Doesn't help that they dropped those 3 in a row between the Nationals and the Pirates, but you get the doubleheader sweep yesterday, which, by the way, they've done that 5 times this year.
Yeah, and we knew it was going to happen, because this is what they've done the last 4 years. They started out slow, and they've come back, pretty much in August. This year they started out slow, but they actually began their comeback in like June. So that's
June 1st is when they started that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the major difference, and they got healthy. I mean, they got their guy back, Ronald Acuna Jr. And I didn't know, and then on top of that, they still got to get their second baseman back. I forgot his name just that quick.
Ozzie Albies,
who had a monster season last year. So it's like addition by unsubtraction, because those dudes are coming. And I think the addition of Matt Olson has been very underrated. Even though Freddie Freeman was beloved in Atlanta, put up monster numbers, won a National League MVP there, Olsen has more than held his own in his as his replacement. Your thoughts?
No, I agree with you 100%. And when you think about it this way too, the Braves seem like the Dodgers. They bring a rookie up, and he automatically is an all-star. The center fielder, who I can't remember his name now,
Harris.
Michael Harris, and then of course Vaughn Grissom comes up, and he's nasty. Spencer Strider, all of a sudden, let's pull him out of the bullpen, and he's going to go out and win 15 games as a starter. They're doing this without Mike Soroka, which I think is another huge thing they're going to have coming back next year. So, listen, this is going to be a dogfight this final month. The only thing the Mets have going for them is they have the easiest schedule in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Marlins, it's the Pirates, it's the Cubs, it's the they go to Oakland. Sorry.
Who?
I feel bad in saying that. You got to understand. I'm talking about my boys having an easy schedule, and your boys are on it, and I feel terrible about that.
I mean, don't, because the A's are on pace to lose 103 this season. So,
but that's just it. You're talking about that pace. Let's talk about the pace the Braves are on. If they started that from the beginning of the year, they'd have a better record than the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm. Because the Dodgers have been ridiculous since before the All-Star break.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you look at it this way, both teams are playing 630 ball.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta's had to play almost 800 ball to get to this point.
And that may be a huge disadvantage going into the postseason in light of the fact that you have to play that type of ball with that type of intensity. And then when you get to the postseason, are you going to run out of gas?
Well, here's another thing Atlanta doesn't have going for them either. They've got 7 more games against the Phillies and a cross-country trip to San Francisco and Seattle. The Mets don't leave the Eastern time zone. As a matter of fact, I think the farthest – well, no, yes, they do. They go to Oakland.
Go to Oakland, yeah.
But outside of that, it's Milwaukee. Every other series, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Miami, D.C., it's all home. They don't play the Phillies again. They got the bottom feeders of the National League East twice more. Milwaukee, who has fallen off the face of the earth. Oakland, who has had a rough year. The only team I think that's above 500 that they're going to play down the stretch is Atlanta. And all they got to do is get one, Willie. They just have to get one.
Yeah, and I hear you when you say that. And I know that the Braves have been playing baseball like they think it's still the 1990s, right? And I know the Mets are playing ball like they think it's still 1986 or maybe even 2001 for that matter. But we don't. If it were me and I was a fan of that team, your team, and you're saying that, I understand that is looking at the glass half full.
Mm-hmm.
But man, you don't really want it to come down to that. Just to
no, I don't. And but what I'm saying is, if you are sitting here as a Met fan, that's not a cynical idiot on Mets Twitter, because I'm not. I look at things for real. We have a weak schedule. Mm-hmm. We're getting guys back, because guess what? By the time the Mets get home, Tyler McGill will be back. Scherzer should be just about ready to come off. Drew Smith will be coming back. Luis Guillorme comes back. All of a sudden, Eduardo Escobar found the bat again. Can I just thank you again for Mark Canha?
Oh, yeah. We forgot one, too.
Did you see Starling, what happened?
Yeah, he broke his finger, right?
Oh, no, non-displaced fracture. If he can take the pain, he's going to play. But he's probably in the lineup tomorrow.
Okay, because he's day-to-day.
Yeah, it's a non-displaced fracture of the middle finger. They've been hit 91 times as a team this year.
Yeah, a lot of that came from the Phillies
and the Nationals.
Figure
Alonso and Lindor both took one off the face from the Nationals.
Yeah. Let's get to. I'm sorry, we need to get to these social media comments because
no, you're good.
My man George is always weighing in. He watches the entire show.
Hey, George.
He says here, the Wahoos and the Wahoo/Guardians are in a pennant race with the Minnesota and the Go-Go Sox. Okay, we knew that. Playing the Twinkies 8 times in 12 games will give a barometer on how the AL Central is. True that. Here he talks this back and forth with the Go-Go Sox this season. They're also back and forth with the fourth type of team. And he's that reference is to when I asked Marshawn about the matchups between the Guardians and the Whites all year. And Marshawn has said they're like 50-50. Here, when you win a division, it shouldn't that Winterham home field only ball screw that up. So let me ask you. Yeah, they do. Okay, because I was thinking, or I was hoping that even though Cleveland would win the AL Central, they wouldn't send them on the road in the first round series.
No, the way it works is much like when we were talking last Friday when you were on my show again. Thank you for coming on. The college football playoff, that first round, those 3 games, the top 2 seeds. Well, I'll use the National League as an example. The Mets and Dodgers, as it stands right now, would get the byes in the top 2 seats. The winners the winner of the Central in the National League would be a home team, and the highest wild card team would be a home team.
Right.
So if the Guardians, I almost said the Indians, if the Guardians win the Central, it doesn't matter what the record of the other team is. They will have home field advantage in that 3-game series because they won a division. They did their job. They did what they were supposed to.
And you know what's funny about that? And George, thank you for that comment, man. You know what's funny about that, Mike, is that Cleveland, if they do win the AL Central, it is not out of the realm of possibility that they could play either Seattle, New York, Tampa, Toronto, or Baltimore.
And all those teams have better records than them.
Yes, and it is not out of the realm. And when I say, and I want you, and I want the people out there that's watching and ultimately will listen to this understand that I said the New York Yankees simply because 2.5 weeks ago they were up by 11 games.
The only thing I can say about the Yankees, and I'm keeping it quiet because the Yankee game's on in my mother-in-law's room right now. Brian Cashman needs to lose his job because you couldn't get Judge signed before the season. The guy's going to hit 60 bombs. And you did not improve this team because you thought you had a big enough lead, not remembering how nasty the Toronto Blue Jays are, not remembering that the Tampa Bay Rays hate you and will play better as the best baseball they can against you every time. And Baltimore just brought their entire young core up, and they are playing phenomenally.
Mm-hmm. After taking their best player away.
Exactly. So Brian Cashman needs to lose his job if they don't win this division. If they win this division, look, you put together a division winner. You did the things you were supposed to. That's great. Another telling sign. On the first night of the Subway Series in July, when the Mets won those 2 games at Citi Field, Yankees had 5 more wins than them. Mets have more wins than the Yankees now.
Yeah, we were actually in the city when that happened because
I know you were because you were telling me you were trying to get to go to one of the games.
Yeah, she wasn't having it. That was our anniversary. She wasn't having it.
Next time you come, I know. Listen, man, my anniversary is the day before Old Timers Day. You think I was going to that game?
Nah, not even a chance. Okay, a couple other comments from, and we got less than a minute and a half left to go in the show, man. George also says, it isn't about Yankee hitting, but pitching that's suspect. Yep, we talked about that.
Whole roster.
Also, yeah, doesn't the Mets have something that the Yankees would cherish? Pitching. 100% agree. And like you said, Mike, when all those guys, when Scherzer gets back and when DeGrom is dealing, and it is crazy how the little brother is essentially could become the brother. And I think that 2-game set at not Shea Stadium. Oh my gosh.
It's
back
okay.
Back in the day, that 2-game set at Citi Field, man, I think that because I saw something when I was out there on the news out there, they were interviewing Yankees and Mets fans, and Yankees fans were saying the Mets fans were treating this like a like a spring training game. No, the Yankees fans said that the Mets were treating like a spring training game, and the Yankees, whatever. So that's what that was, man. That's what that was. Any final thoughts, man, about whatever?
Yeah.
Real quick.
The Mets are going to win the National League East.
There you have it. I picked them to win it, and if they don't, I will be highly disappointed.
And Natalie and I told you about the Guardians on opening day, and you called us homers.
Yeah, I did. But I'm still rooting for them. All right. that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Hashtag Brothers of Baseball show right here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. Up next, the big homie from Press Box to Press Row, that's Donald Ware. Make sure y'all check him out. For Big Mike Martinez, for the dopest engineer in the game, Big Dave, sports fans, baseball fans all over the planet. Y'all stay safe. Y'all hug each other. Y'all love each other. And we will holler at y'all again real soon. Peace. We out.